So the OnePlus Nord is out and you're about to buy this phone, and you're probably wondering if this is the best phone for you in this price segment, or should you be looking at alternative options. Now there are some questions in your mind, and I'm going to try and answer the most popular ones in this video. But guys, before we move on to our first question, it'll be great if you could drop a like, hit that subscribe button and that bell icon, and just help me get closer to my 200,000 subscriber goal. And now the first question. Is the OnePlus Nord the best phone that you can get in this price segment of 28,000 rupees or about $400? In my opinion, yes. And while there are other phones like the Redmi K20 Pro and the Realme X3 that do offer a better processor in the same price band, I just think the OnePlus Nord has a better overall smartphone experience. What I mean by overall experience is the fact that you get that OnePlus experience with the Nord, which is Oxygen OS, and that guarantees you 2 years of Android updates and 3 years of security updates. You get a good premium design, it looks really good. Glass at the back, plastic that looks like metal on the sides, and metallic buttons. And just the overall color and quality that you see is better than pretty much any other smartphone in this price segment. So yeah, performance is one big piece that does determine whether a phone is going to be great or not, but it cannot be the only criteria, and definitely not from an overall perspective. So you've got to look at other criteria to see if the phone matches up to your expectations. Now let's say that I've established it's a great phone to consider in this price segment. Is it really good value for money? Well, I really think so. It's got a pretty good balance of design and features, performance, camera, reliability, and it comes with OnePlus's promise and support and experience, which is not something another phone in this price segment can deliver. And I would actually go to the extreme of saying that the OnePlus Nord is so incredibly good value for money that it almost makes the flagship phones look very overly priced. Alright, coming to the next question is, how good are the cameras on the OnePlus Nord, and are they better or the same as OnePlus 8? Now, I don't have the OnePlus 8 with me, so I couldn't do the comparison myself, but I did see this video by Danny Wingate. I'll leave a link to his video in the description. I think he's done a fabulous job of explaining the difference between image qualities from OnePlus Nord versus the OnePlus 8 and the OnePlus 8 Pro. And from what I gather by looking at his video is that the difference between the images taken by Nord and the OnePlus 8 are very similar. Now, interestingly, on their website, they say the OnePlus Nord has flagship camera. It's not the flagships like the iPhone 11 or the Galaxy S20 or the Huawei P40 Pro. So don't get sucked into that. What it really means is they took the primary lens of the OnePlus 8 and used the same one on the OnePlus Nord. Now, the other cameras are actually not that great. You know, the ultra wide lens is 8 megapixel on the Nord, which is not really too much. You know, it's okay at best. And while this phone is incredibly attractive for its price point, if photography is really important to you, I think you're looking at the wrong price segment to begin with. Okay, next question. How good is the gaming on this phone? It's smooth, you know, sure, the launching of the actual game and loading may take long because it's still a Snapdragon 700 series processor. But once the game is loaded, you can play in the best of settings and experience a pretty smooth gaming. I've been playing PUBG on highest graphics for a few days, and no hiccups whatsoever. No lag or no frame drops, no overheating, decent battery consumption and optimization, and very smooth gameplay. The only thing that could be a setback is that you will not get 60 FPS gaming experience on the Nord. Like the Redmi K20 Pro or the Realme X3 with their better processors can deliver 60 FPS gaming. You may go up to a 40 FPS on the Nord, but that's about it. And that brings us to the next question. Should you get the Nord or the Redmi K20 Pro or the Realme X3? Well, very frankly, if gaming is very important to you, which means performance is very important to you, just get the K20 Pro or the Realme X3 because they feature the better Snapdragon 800 series processor, and it's got the Adreno 640 GPU, which is supposed to be better than the 620 on the Nord. And that can guarantee you smoother as well as faster gaming. But for day-to-day phone usage, you'll not really experience the difference. Oxygen OS on the OnePlus offers a superior stock Android experience, which is hard to compete with. And from an overall experience, I believe the Nord has more to offer than the K20 Pro or the Realme X3. Better and definitely more classy design, and more towards the minimal side of things, which I personally prefer. And even if you were to consider the camera performance of these three phones, they're fairly very similar. I mean, one may have more saturated imagery, the other may look a little washed out, but nothing that a few camera filters cannot fix. In terms of quality, I think they're very similar. Next question, how good is the battery on the OnePlus Nord? So it's got a 4100 milliampere hour battery, and that's getting me to somewhere about 6 to 7 hours of screen on time with 90 Hz refresh rate, which I think is just about okay. It's not extraordinary, but it's what's expected out of 4100 milliampere hour. So point being, it should get you through the day without any issues. And besides, you can get to a full charge from 0 to 100 in about 70 minutes is what I recorded. And yeah, in 30 minutes, I did get about 65% charge, which I think is brilliant. Okay, so the next question, is the OnePlus Nord better than the OnePlus 8? Absolutely not. The OnePlus 8 has a better, faster Snapdragon 800 series processor. You get stereo speakers with Dolby Atmos. You get an upgraded version of Wi-Fi, that's Wi-Fi 6. You get a slightly larger battery capacity on the OnePlus 8. You've got a brighter screen. You also get 4K 60 FPS video recording on the OnePlus 8. And you get faster internal storage, the UFS 3.0. There could be a couple of more things that I'm missing out on, but the point being, the OnePlus 8 does offer quite a few features that the OnePlus Nord does not have. Now, not all of those would be important to you, and hence the OnePlus Nord may make more economic sense in terms of purchase than the OnePlus 8, which is significantly more expensive than the OnePlus Nord. But that's a choice that you have to make. And lastly, do I recommend the OnePlus Nord? Absolutely. I believe it's the most well-optimized and overall balanced package you can get at this price point. It may not offer the same performance specs as the K20 Pro or the Realme X3, but as I said, performance is just one part. And there are all sort of things to consider. You know, there's design, there's software, there's future-proofing, there's camera and image processing, there's optimization, support that you would get for years to come in terms of Android updates, and even customer support in terms of, you know, if anything goes wrong. So all of these things go into making a phone experience, and you've got to consider all before making a purchase. So if it were up to me in this price segment, I would definitely recommend and myself go for the OnePlus Nord. Now, the Redmi K20 Pro and the Realme X3 are great from a gaming enthusiast perspective. So if you're going to be hooked on to PUBG, you know, throughout major chunk of your day, go for it. You know, they are better phones when it comes to performance and gaming. You'll definitely get a better experience there. But from a day-to-day usage, as I said earlier, I think the OnePlus Nord fits the bill much better. So there you have it, some really important questions about the OnePlus Nord answered. And if I haven't answered your question, feel free to drop them in the comment section below and I'll reach out to you. Now, I'll be doing more videos on the OnePlus Nord, so make sure you stay subscribed and hit that bell icon. If there's a specific recommendation of the kind of video you want to see on Nord, you can drop that in the comment section below too. As always, guys, it was great doing this for you. I hope you really liked it. If you did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and that bell icon. See you in the next one.